I hit that high note. No, I definitely can't. Fuck, it was worth a try. My vertical layout is royally fudged. So first of all, you go a little bit. Nope. We're gonna do a little bit of this. That's better. Oh, damn, I didn't do the thing for Facebook again. Oh, well. Nobody really uses the Facebook chat. Sunbeam NBS 1212, Closs the Dawn, Jim Barrett, welcome to the chat. You are here in the nick of time. We are just about to get started. Hope you enjoy. Sit back, buckle your safety belts, because guess what? Here we go! Here we go! So, in case you are a narcoleptic and don't pay attention to anything, and maybe you're just generally speaking brain fog 24/7, there was yet another Maga mass terrorist shooting. This time at a mosque in San Diego. The terrorist has been confirmed to have Nazi ideology, Nazi beliefs, Nazi talking points, which are straight out of the Republican Crime Pedo Party's playbook. So, this is going to be a dark episode because people suck and they do awful shit, and I am here to make sure that you are aware of how awful the world is because I'm just that fucking cool, right? That's what we love about me, is that I talk about the shitty things in life. Here we go. Oh, well. You know, before we find out about our impending doom, let's just get a quick ad in here.
Has a history. But the
right?
Pacific history, the culture that they engendered at the very beginning.
Hey, by the way, there may be mass terrorism happening in the world, but at least you can fly on an airline that goes places.
You feel them long after those days.
Catheter Airlines, whatever.
At about 9:42 this morning, we received a call of a runaway juvenile. She believed her son was suicidal. Several of her weapons were missing. Her vehicle was missing, in addition to her son. Her son was with a companion, and that they were dressed in camo. While we were gathering this information and we were trying to zero in on where these individuals were at, we received the call at approximately 11:43 that there was an active shooter at the Islamic Center. When officers arrived on scene, they came across 3 deceased individuals. One was a security guard at the center. And at about the same time as they were making entry and searching through the facility, room by room, we received calls of a vehicle a couple blocks away that was shooting at a landscaper.
MSF
The
Bree,
landscaper
sorry.
was going to be okay. A couple blocks away from there, we also received a call where a community member reported our 2 suspects in a vehicle, and it appeared they had gunshot wounds, and upon our arrival, we determined they were deceased.
So I guess I haven't read. I got an article here that I'll pull up. I'm not entirely sure how many people died, but it sounds like the 2 shooters. Fuck them. Who cares? And then, good God, holy loud noises, Batman.
The victims who
No transition there.
To help others, to be part of a community that came together in peace. Instead, they were confronted by teenagers who appeared to have been radicalized online to believe that they didn't belong because of how they looked or where they worshipped. They couldn't be more wrong.
I just wanted to do my respects before going to work, because I can feel their pain.
It's very sad, especially in the mosque. They didn't do anything at all, and they do not deserve that. And I just feel so bad, and it's actually very I don't feel good at all about it.
They went in there looking for people gathering there for religious reasons.
We've executed 3 search warrants at residences associated with the subjects. During those searches, we found and seized numerous firearms from 2 of those locations, including numerous pistols, rifles, shotguns, ammunition, tactical gear, as well as electronics.
This is
So far
fucking.
in this investigation,
This is fucking
we've seized over 30
California.
guns and a cross.
This is fucking California. How much of that shit was legal? I mean, the shotguns, I suppose, but did they have AR-15s? Did they have submachine guns? What exactly did they fucking have? And tactical gear? I admit I'm not sure the familiarity with California law on tactical gear. I believe it's allowed, but I don't know for sure. And we keep seeing this. Every single responsible gun owner is one temper tantrum away from becoming a mass shooter. Every single time. And in this case, it was the mother's weapons and gear who was taken by these terrorists, radicalized by Republican ideology, and then they went out and commit this mass act of violence. And it's crucial. He said something here. What did he say? Radicalized?
They were confronted by teenagers who appear to have been radicalized online to believe that they didn't belong because of how they looked.
Radicalized online to believe they didn't belong because of how they look. That's a crucial element because we keep seeing this violent, radical, dangerous pro-terrorism ideology from Trump and the Republican Crime Party. And that is exactly how you get instances like this. I've got a couple examples that I'll pull up later, but I had a MAGA pedophile in my comments on my video that I posted today and was saying the same putrid pro-terrorism horse shit. And we need to stop laying it down. We cannot let these terrorists come around and say, oh, Alex Preddy got what he deserved. Oh, Nicole Good should have just complied. No, fuck you. Charlie Kirk got a bullet in the head for doing absolutely fucking nothing but sitting there. And it was done by your own people because you're a terrorist group. And it's MAGA on MAGA violence every single time. We shouldn't be just sitting down and letting these people bulldoze us with this fucking evil. No, fire back. Stop sitting on your fucking hands, liberals. Don't let these terrorists come in here and say, well, you're next on ISIS list. Okay, you're next to Nuremberg, motherfucker. Stop sitting down. Band together. Fight the fuck back. These people want terrorism. They want us to be afraid. They want us to be scared. And you know what? If we stand up together and we are united, they can't fucking do that. Because they can't go through one door. They have to go through all of the fucking doors. Because we are all here to support each other. And I'm sick of liberals saying, oh, but we're nonviolent. We're nonviolent. This is not about violence. This is about defense. If terrorists show up at your door intentionally wanting to inflict harm and intentionally trying to make you feel afraid, you have every single fucking right to defend yourself and your property, and you should. I fucking would. Oh, God. Someone's quoting the Bible in my chat. Ugh. Ugh. Jesus Christ. Literally. So, that's kind of how this unfolded. I want to... Oh, man. Reload. Rushed at the mosque fully armored. The firearms the shooters aged 17 and 18 used in the fatal rampage were registered to one of their parents. And this keeps happening. So why were those guns not secured? I know with the guns that I have to secure them, and I don't even have kids. But I'm required to keep them locked and secured, basically at all times. So what in the fuck was this mother doing not keeping it secured? I'm assuming was it a keyed safe? Did she even have a safe? Did she have a lockbox for them? How did these kids get access to these weapons, and why was it this fucking easy? Rushed for the mosque fully armored with handguns and rifles. A security guard shot and struck one of the shooters, according to members of the mosque, but the attacker continued charging. The guard also alerted administrators of the school at the Islamic Center, telling them to go into lockdown before he was shot and killed. Jesus Christ. Absolute fucking hero. This is the kind of heroic shit that MAGA pedophiles always brag about that they would love to be, and then instead they can't even tell Trump to lower the fucking gas prices. They went from don't tread on me to please butt fuck me with these gas prices, daddy. That's Republicans right now. If it was not for him, the carnage would be much worse, said Imam Taha Hassani. Taha Hassani? He sacrificed his life. 2 other victims had been on the phone calling the police when they were killed, according to a witness who shared what he saw in an Instagram post from the Islamic Center. Police rushed to the scene and ultimately found the suspected shooters near the masjid. What's a masjid? What is a masjid? A masjid, a Muslim place of worship. Oh, okay. So it's basically like saying church or temple. Okay, see, learn something. See, there you go. There's some positivity in all this awfulness. I learned a word. Congratulations to me for being so fucking stupid. Congratulations. Dead from self-inflicted gunshot wounds. The shooters had met and been radicalized online, according to the FBI at a news conference. It's always the same fucking MO, by the way. It continues to happen. These people get radicalized online because they listen to pedophiles like Alex Jones. They listen to terrorists like Tucker Carlson. They listen to pedophiles like Andrew Tate. And this kind of shit continues to happen. Mark Remley, the special agent in charge of the FBI San Diego office, said investigators uncovered a manifesto that expressed a broad hatred toward various races and religions. Again, common. And I'm glad that the manifesto is not being released because that tends to inspire more copycat shooters. From what I read in behind-the-scenes reporting on the manifesto, it's piss poorly written because, of course, it is. These people have no fucking writing ability or critical thinking skills. If they had any fucking high IQ skills of any kind, they would not have done this to begin with. Investigators also found 30 firearms and a crossbow after searching 2 residences in connection with the investigation. Friendly said agents also searched tactical ammunition. If I recall right, California has a cooldown period between how often you can buy guns. So either these guns are illegal, or they were imported, or they were bought over a very long period of time. This is insane. This is why, liberals, I'm telling you, arm up. This is what the enemy has. You want to live next door to someone like this? You want to live next door, liberals, to a person that's got 30 firearms and thinks that you're the next Pizzagate? You want to live next door to that? You better arm up to defend yourself, at minimum. We also identified writings and various ideologies outlining religious and racial beliefs of how the world they envisioned should look, he said. These subjects did not discriminate on who they hated. He added that it was still too early in the investigation to say whether the Islamic Center was the sole or specific target of the shooters. On Monday, the mother of one of the shooters had alerted police soon before the shooting occurred that her son, a 17-year-old high school student, was suicidal and potentially armed. Officers had been looking for the 17-year-old and his 18-year-old in a neighborhood near the mosque as they opened fire. I guess I'm a little unclear. My understanding is that the two offed themselves, Columbine style, but I'm not sure if it actually stated that. Remley said that the firearms the shooters used were registered to one of the parents. Exactly how they were able to obtain them is still under investigation. Yeah, fucking prosecute the mother. Prosecute the parents. Prosecute fucking everybody. This is why this shit keeps happening, is because people don't take care of their fucking firearms because they're too busy fucking posing with them for their fucking stupid-ass Christmas pictures and shit. You shouldn't... Anybody who is posing with their guns is not someone I want next to me in a fucking range because they are irresponsible, they're ego-driven, and they do not know what they are doing. Period. I will never be convinced otherwise. I don't care if they're a fucking Navy SEAL. If you're posing with a goddamn picture of your gun, I don't think you're right in the head. I don't. Because that shows that you are more interested in the ego boost you get from holding that gun, from the fucking, to cure your ED, your amosexuality, than it does that you're more concerned about pointing the gun only downrange. I don't trust these fucking people. The FBI has opened a tip line and is still seeking more information about the shooters and their motives. One of them had been enrolled in a virtual learning academy at the San Diego Unified School District, according to a spokesperson for the district, and had been set to graduate high school this year. This kid was about to graduate. He was going to graduate, and he did this. And now he's dead. Again, this needs to be an argument for the parents. Parents, do you really want to live in a world where the molester-in-chief, Donald J. Pedo Trump, is constantly pushing the type of rhetoric to get kids who are about to graduate go and do this? Is this really what you parents want? Maga, you as a mother, you as a father, is this really what you want your kids doing? Is this really how you want them to go out? Think about that next time you fucking vote. During the shooting, 5 public schools near the Islamic Center were placed on lockdown. Hussein, the imam and director of the Islamic Center, said that center also practices active shooter lockdown drills several times a year, which he said undoubtedly protected people. This is fucking insane. This is fucking America. Now we have sites of religious worship having to practice active shooter lockdowns rather than some fucking gun control. It worked, He said the lives of the kids were saved. The lives of everyone in the school were saved, and we're so grateful for that. So, the New York Post, which is pro-pedophile since they continue to back Donald Trump, who is in the Epstein files more than anyone else, more than 1 million times, had this to say. I'm not even going to read it. I'm not even going to justify this horse shit with a fucking reading. The New York Post should be abolished. Disgusting institution. It's 100% correct. The New York Post is an absolute cancer on journalism. And believe me, journalism has a lot of fucking tumors at this time. So, this bullshit claim stems from 2 of the 9/11 hijackers. Keep in mind, this was, what was 2026? This wasn't even 2001. They were out there almost 30 fucking years ago. All right? So this traced back. So Fox and fake news friends, keep in mind, Fox fake news paid out $750 million and continues to back Donald Trump, the chief pedophile in the Epstein files, and continues to pump out propaganda to distract from the Epstein files and to push us into war with Iran instead of just taking down the house of cards that is the pedo cabal currently running the country. So they are claiming, Sean Hayden claimed that people, blah, blah, blah. Laura Ingraham took the network's narrative in a new direction, claiming that 2 members of the crew, the 9/11 hijackers, were frequent attendees of this same mosque. So this goes way, way back, retracing the story 9/11 hijackers in San Diego. KBPS investigative reporter Amita Sharma is here to recall the part of the terror plot played out in San Diego and what intelligence agencies have learned from their mistakes. So this is from the transcript. Let's see, where is it? Got it. So the 2 hijackers were Nawaf al-Hazmi and Khalid al-Mindar. They helped play the plane into typo there, into the Pentagon on 9/11. It probably meant to say fly. The 2 men were in their 20s. They came here posing as students. The relationship, he says, he sent them here is he pick up a San Diego phone book at, okay, this is horribly transcribed, Karachi, Pakistan flea market, went thumbing through it and decided to send the 2 men here. So the Fox fake news and the right-wing pedophiles are, of course, trying to spin this as, you know, that mosque being a Hamas breeding ground or an Al-Qaeda breeding ground, when this is how simple it came about. They were at a Karachi, Pakistan flea market where they picked up a San Diego phone book, thumbed through it, and boom, just like fucking spin of the wheel bullshit, and that's how they landed on this mosque that they then attended. Where do they live in San Diego? When they first arrived, they lived in Claremont, the Parkwood Apartments, which is a couple blocks away from the Islamic Center at San Diego, where they prayed. So basically, by completely random happenings, two of the terrorists from the 9/11 hijackings ended up going to this mosque a couple times for prayer to blend into the community, and so then they therefore would not become suspect. And yet, the Republican Crime Party, like some of the pedophiles here in my chat right now, are trying to say that this condemns all Muslims. And yet, these same pedophiles in my chat right now won't say a goddamn thing about the churches that actually are breeding grounds for pedophiles. They won't say a goddamn thing about right-wing media, which has continued to inspire terrorists like these people who shot up the San Diego Mosque, like the shooter in Texas, like the shooter in Buffalo, like the shooter in New Zealand. They won't say a single fucking thing about those terrorists. Keep in mind, these are the people trying to brainwash you into thinking that the left is the party of violence when they are the terrorists that are doing shit like this. All right, let's get caught up with these losers in my chat. Jeb Common, psychiatrist numbers. Jeb Common, wait, you've been in my chat before. Jeb, you came back. Welcome back. The pedophile arrived. Dude, I thought you were like dead by your cellmate or something. When did you get paroled, dude? America was gone after 9/11. New York Post is the new National Enquirer. Yeah, New York Post should be fucking abolished. Jeb Common, again, you are the pedophile. Donald Trump is in the Epstein files more than 1 million times. Here you are talking about girls' bathrooms. Tell me, when have you ever condemned Trump for being in the Epstein files 1 million times? Tell me. Have you ever, if you're so concerned about girls' bathrooms, are you going to condemn Trump himself, who said he loved to walk through the pageant that he owned because he was the owner and he had the right so he could see nude underage children during that show? Tell me, are you going to condemn that right now? Go ahead, I'll wait. The church always has been a hotbed for pedophiles. Yeah, pedophiles go wherever they can get power, and the Republican Crime Party right now is, of course, in power. They also have a pedophile, Donald Trump, running it. So it's open season for pedophiles. They opened the fucking door. You're talking about opening the jails, like the right wing always says. Well, they opened the fucking churches. All the priests, all the pastors, all these fucking pedophiles from the police departments, from everywhere else, from Republican county school boards and Republican county chairs of the party are now in line with their chief pedophile, Donald J. Trump. So, to bring it all back to square one, stayed for about 5 or 6 months, then went to Yemen for a visit. So keep in mind, 5 or 6 months they were at this mosque. Like, that's it. Again, Donald Trump has been in America. Jeb Common, Donald Trump was pedophile's Jeffrey Epstein's best friend. Donald Trump did business with Epstein. And here you are talking about the Clintons. You can't talk about Donald Trump because you're a propagandist. You live in your fucking bubble. And by the way, the Clintons sat down for an interview. Are you willing to have Donald Trump sit down for an interview about his connections to Epstein, about the accusations that he is a pedophile and the children that he raped and murdered and buried in Mar-a-Lago? Are you willing to decide that? Go ahead, Jeb. Watch, he's going to spin it and talk about fucking transgender people. Because they can't talk about the facts. These pedophiles are not here to actually solve issues and to keep children safe, to keep women safe, to keep America safe. These pedophiles, like Jeb Common 2332, immediately gets out of jail, and here he is in my chat yet again, talking about the Clintons when Donald Trump bought Epstein's plane for the 2024 campaign. What do you want it for? All the happy memories? So this guy, I don't know who, let's see. So it looks like he's a fitness influencer. I go to this mosque every Friday. So Laura Loomer, the groomer, is out here talking. She's trying to pull a Sandy Hook on this mosque. And it's very, very important that she immediately get the Alex Jones treatment. She's out here trying to say it's fake news, doing the whole crisis actor bullshit. Laura Loomer, the groomer, needs to be sued immediately. And I hope every single person at that mosque, every single victim, every single family, everyone even tangentially related to that mosque sues Laura Loomer. See, here you go, Jeb. You can't talk about Donald Trump, who is a career predator. This is why I ignore you in my chat. Because you're a fake news fucking fascist, and you're not actually here to solve anything. I knew it, talking about biological girls. Yeah, we know why you pedophiles like biological girls. That's why you can't think of anything else other than biological girls. Because you're all fucking pedophiles, and nothing else matters to you. You guys are fucking disgusting. I can't wait for you to get Nuremberg. Oh, man, I'm going to be there at your sentencing. I promise you, Jeb. I promise. Anyway, I'm done talking to you. I'm ignoring you. But please, stay here. Stay here. I want you to keep pumping your bullshit in my chat to boost my algorithm. Please, don't go anywhere. I'm going to ignore you, but you're a pedophile and you're going to get Nuremberg. Anyway, I go to this mosque every Friday. There's an older a gentleman in his 70s who walks around handing everyone a piece of candy with the warmest smile on his face, followed by a quiet prayer he whispers for the person receiving it. He doesn't want anyone dead. I don't want anyone dead, and nobody I've met there wants anyone dead. Yet, based on your tweets, I'd bet you'd rather see every person in that mosque erased for simply being Muslim. Funny how the people constantly accusing others of hate are usually the ones consumed by it themselves. And keep in mind, Laura Loomer, the groomer, looks like fucking fried eggs that have been left out on a car windshield right now. So he's absolutely correct that these people are so... And it goes to... Stephen Miller is my age, for Christ's sake. He's my fucking age. Please, let's get a clip of my face right now compared to his. Let's be real, people. The man is not walking around without some fucking surgery in the next 2 days. These are people who actually attest to the conduct of the mosque. These are people who actually go there, and Laura Loomer, the groomer, keeps trying to do the fucking Alex Jones thing. I hope she gets fucking sued for everything. I've known one of the victims killed today, ICSD, since I was 6. Muslims love America, even when America doesn't love them back. Islamophobia is on the rise. The school shooters illegally accessing firearms proves we need stricter gun laws. Uncle should still be here. We have to prevent this from happening again.
Now, from San Diego is Amar Kampa-Najjar. He knew the victims in the shooting at the Islamic Center. He's also a former Obama administration official. Thanks so much for joining us.
Well, thank you for having me. It's been a tough day.
Such a tough day. I'm so sorry for what your community is dealing with. I understand that you attended this school as a child, and you know personally some of the victims identified today. On a human level, just how are you processing all of this?
I still haven't fully processed it, to be honest. I saw those videos of those children who, you know, kindergartners all the way up to 8th grade, holding hands, trying to evacuate and flee for their lives. And were it not for the...
Donald Trump's America, right here. Children fleeing for their lives. Hey, Jeb Common, you pedophile. How are you going to keep these kids safe when you keep pushing guns out onto the streets into the hand of MAGA terrorists like yourself that then go and cause these fucking crimes? This is why y'all need to be Nuremberg. Please deport yourself.
The heroism of the security guard who lost his life who knows what would have happened. One of the other victims I've known since I was 6 years old. He worked at the convenience store in the mosque, and when I would wait for my mom to pick me up from school, he'd be there and he'd give me some treats. And I went to that school at the age of 6, first and second grade. Then I lived in Gaza for a couple of years and came back to that school and finished middle school. And this is a place of worship, not a crime scene, not a murder scene. And today that was changed for a time being.
Yeah.
And it's just deeply harmful.
I mean, authorities obviously are investigating this as a possible hate crime, with reports of anti-Islamic rhetoric connected to these suspects, these young teenagers. What goes through your mind when you see violence like this hitting your own community in San Diego?
Yeah, this is absolutely devastating, and we are grieving right now, and pretty soon we'll be burying our loved ones. But this goes back a long time, the hate on this community. I came back right before 9/11, and it was devastating. 3,000 innocent souls were taken from us from that attack, including Muslims. And then there was a lot of backlash on the Muslim community wrongfully. And there was vandalism that was taking place when I was, going to school there. And there's been instances of hate crimes ever since, but this is different. We've seen a lot of school shootings in this country, too many. And what makes this tragic is these children and these worshipers were under attack because of who they are.
Yeah.
Yeah. GRMP Queer, welcome back, by the way. He says, poor guy, he's been crying. Well, that's a bad freeze frame. But yeah, I think they interviewed him the day of this Maga terrorist shooting. And yeah, he personally knew one of the victims. Man, I can't even imagine. I don't even know.
And these gunmen weren't even allowed to have guns. They're underage. So there's just a stacking of problems, from the Islamophobia to the gun violence and not having stricter gun laws to leadership around the country stoking the flames of this hate.
I was going to kind of say the same thing. Like, at this point, it's not even enough to have stricter gun laws. It's not even enough to ban AR-15s. It's not. Like, there is a whole systemic problem of violence in America that is festering on the right and spreading across this country. We're exporting it now to other countries where, again, the New Zealand terrorist shooter was inspired by Ben Shapiro and Donald Trump's rhetoric and the others. It's not just enough to have strict gun laws anymore. There needs to be, you can't just constantly defend. We have to be aggressive in pushing back against this. We need to enact laws where hate speech like this is actually fucking, we need to keep an active eye on it. We need to, because every single time we see these terrorists, this is not a one-off. We keep seeing these people get reported to the police. We keep seeing these people get reported to schools, and nothing gets done until this fucking happens. And something needs to change. If there is hate speech, that is the smoke to the fire. And we need to make some fucking changes here. And that's even a whole nother problem, because hate speech, how do you define that? And then even once you define it, what is going to stop a pedophile Nazi like Donald Trump from coming in and redirecting it and just changing it, just like with this bullshit counterterrorism letter? And again, where are the Democrats not talking about that counterterrorism letter? These two guys were not on the counterterrorism watch list. Why? But sure, you were too busy looking up fucking Antifa. Yeah? Where is the Antifa attacks? Where's the Antifa arrests? Oh, that's right. The January 6th guys were all Antifa. That's why they're getting paid out, right? So Trump is funding terrorism to pay Antifa? It's a complete fucking bullshit Ouroboros it's an Ouroboros of bullshit. And until we can address the problem that we have this hate speech issue that leads to violence, I'll be honest, I don't have a great way to, because again, even if you monitor hate speech by the government, that's eventually going to bite someone in the ass. And typically, as we're seeing now, it's being pushed against left-leaning people like myself and other Antifa, et cetera, et cetera. So how do you resolve it? I don't have an answer right now, but we need to have a serious, good faith public discussion about it. And the way we have a public discussion about it that is good faith is by kicking MAGA the fuck out, because these people are Nazis, these people are pedophiles, and as you can see by the guy in my chat, they are not here to answer questions. I ask him direct questions about Trump, and it's all about, but the Clintons, but the Rothschilds, but the Schumers. They are not here to answer the facts that Donald Trump is a pedophile mentioned in the Epstein files a million times, and he has inspired the kind of rhetoric that led to these terrorist attacks by MAGA Nazis. Going to note the administration is deliberately not going after right-wing terror groups. Yeah, exactly. They let these people roam free.
So I hope we could move on from this moment and do something that makes sure this never happens again, because it should never, ever happen. And we can't bring back the one we've lost, but we could certainly honor their memory by making sure this never happens again.
Yeah, and we've certainly heard from police that the mother of one of the suspects had alerted authorities that her child was missing and that her guns were also missing. What went through your mind?
How did the guns go missing? I want to hear that.
I'm just thinking about the people that I know and what could have been done differently to have them still with us today. I know the law enforcement got there within 4 minutes, but I can't help but wonder, right? It shouldn't have happened, and we should be speaking up and denouncing Islamophobia unequivocally. An attack on one of us is an attack on all of us in this country, and this is an American tragedy, not just for one community, but our entire country should be in mourning, and many people are across the country that I've heard from. And so it's important that we speak in one voice and condemn this and give hatred and Islamophobia no safe quarter in any part of our country, especially in a house of worship, a place of solace and faith. And so my hope is that our leaders who have formal authority will do something about it, but those of us with moral authority will step up and speak out and say that this kind of hate has no place, and this is a time to embrace the Muslim community in ways that, you know, has not happened in the past. These Muslims in this mosque, I know them. They're law enforcement, they're doctors, they're teachers, they serve in the military alongside me. They love this country even when this country doesn't love them back. Yeah. And I think it's important that we show them that love and support. And there's actually a site for people to go and raise funds for the family members who are now suddenly in a position where they have to bury their loved ones. So I hope people will embrace them in word and in deed right now when they need it the most.
Yeah, it's called Go Fucking Fund Me. Imagine America, the richest nation in the world, where, what, 3 of the 5 richest people in the world live? Because you got Bezos, Musk, I believe Zuckerberg is up there, Bill Gates, is Warren Buffett one of the richest in the world? I guess I'm not sure, but I mean, either way, Musk living here alone, richest man in the world, and we have people who died from a MAGA Nazi terrorist attack having to raise funds on Go Fucking Fund Me. The shooter were underage, right? So they accessed guns. Which adult didn't have their firearms properly secured? Yeah, Equeer, it's apparently from the mother had the guns were registered to the mother. So yeah, again, the guns that I have to keep them under lock and key, and I don't have kids in my house. I don't, you know, I live with just my dog, and my dog isn't exactly going to go out and grab it and go pew pew at someone. So I'm still required to keep them locked up. I'm still required to keep them secure. So what did these parents do to keep their guns secure? And if they didn't, they should fucking be prosecuted, because people died.
I hope so. I hope you're feeling the support from all those around you. Amar Kampa-Najjar, we appreciate your time today, and our thoughts are with your community right now.
Thank you. Thank you.
Really crazy seeing this kind of interview from a Zionist institution like CNN. There's a reason they had this lady, whomever this is, and not Jake fucking Crapper interviewing the guy, because he would have found a way to blame it on Hamas. So this is what I'm talking about, and this is also the danger of a pedophile like Laura Loomer, the groomer, trying to pull a Sandy Hook on this shit. This is how this kind of violence starts. Muslims don't belong in American society. Rep fine on mainstream Muslims. I think you should destroy them first. The enemy is inside the gates. No more Muslims. None of them censured by Democrats. No penalty. Instead, Democrats have censured Al Green, Rashida Tlaib, and have spent the last year attacking Mamdani and Abdul Sayed, and not even forgetting their crusade against fucking Hassan Piker. This is why we can't have nice things. Because you have Nazis using violent genocidal rhetoric against a religion that has absolutely nothing to do with 9/11. I love to give Christians shit, but the simple fact is that Christianity as a religion is not being used as a major terrorism ideology. The same way Islam is not being used as a major ideology of terrorism, because there are millions, billions of people of both religions that are not ascribing to violence or terrorism of any single kind. There are leaders within those organizations that are actively resisting calls to violence. There are a hell of a lot more on the Christian side that are not, especially the evangelicals, but they're more kind of a subsect, you know, like Al-Qaeda, in my opinion. Al-Qaeda! And then, again, we can't have nice things because the Democrats are too busy doing other stupid shit. We're supposed to be fighting violence. We're supposed to be fighting Nazis. We're supposed to be... Hello? Hello? McFly? Anybody home? We're supposed to be fighting fucking Nazis. But instead, the Democrats are censuring Al fucking Green. This is truly insane. This party... there have been so many iterations of the Democrats. Generally speaking, in the past, the Democrats have overall been comparable in their opposition to Republicans. Now, we are simply seeing an escalation of violence and terrorism among the right that Democrats are refusing to combat and fight. Instead, they're blaming their own people who actually are taking the fights. How was Jerry demanded out of the seat? Fucking Christ. I didn't know he was on there. Of course I didn't find anything about that because the Democrats are going to fucking talk about it. God damn, fucking hate the Democrats. Now keep in mind, so when I say there is a very big difference between this argument of Islam being a terrorist-driven ideology and my argument of Maga being a Nazi pedophile terrorist ideology. Because on the Islam side, there is no major leader that is pushing for violence. There's not. However, this is what we got from Donald pedophile Trump. Did he say I'll hip toss your ass into the fucking crowd? What a I'll hip toss your ass. Wait, isn't this one of the pedophiles guys? That's one of the guys that got arrested post January 6th, isn't it? For child molestation. I thought that was one of the guys. The irony of a Nazi calling a Capitol Police officer there to protect democracy is just fucking wow. I mean, don't get me wrong. I have no love for the Capitol Police myself, but the people who were there at that day and protecting our country did a lot to save us from what these terrorists were trying to do. And she's the one trying to overthrow a democratically elected government, and she's calling the other person a fucking Nazi. The world is truly upside fucking down. I am convinced at some point, while we were sleeping, North Pole, South Pole, the Earth literally did this while we were sleeping. I'm not even fucking kidding. That's my conspiracy theory. The polar flip. So this is the shit that Trump started. I'm not saying President. Donald Trump, the pedophile, says that those prosecuted for January 6th should get money from the federal government. That means giving cash to people who violently assaulted police at the U.S. Capitol. Here's a few possible recipients from what Trump called a day of love. Now, I've been to a lot of protests in my time, and I have seen plenty of hostilities between police frontliners and protesters, and then, of course, the police pedophile pigs that riot. And I can tell you for a fact, these Nazi fascists did way more violence than I have ever seen the crowds that I have been into that acted in response to the pigs rioting. This is insane to see. This was all unprovoked, and the cops have the most tepid of responses. We have seen so many times out here, things are peaceful, and then the pigs bull rush off of their front line and beat people, break their femur, stomp on them with the horse, shoot them point blank range with a 40mm fucking cannon just because they can. And yet again, we have Democrats too busy doing this, censoring their own people, rather than fucking firing those pigs, suing those pigs, arresting those pigs. And this is how we get, like I said, the polar inversion, where up is down and down is up, where these pedophile Nazis are considered heroes by Trump, again, a pedophile, and then the Capitol Police are villainized. This is insane. This is a different guy. Yeah, it's a different guy. He's wearing a different outfit. Pardoned Capitol rioter tried to bribe child sex victim with promise of a January 6th payout, officials say. Andrew Paul Johnson, 44, faces multiple charges in Florida, including lewd, lascivious molestation, according to the Hernando County Sheriff's Office. Trying to not remove or intercept first report that was among the roughly 1,500 people arrested. So, again, MAGA, is this who you want to live next to? Honestly. German Africa, welcome to the stream. How are you? Honestly, MAGA, think about this. This guy is a pedophile who tried to bribe a child so that he could rape it. And then you want this guy pardoned? Honestly, MAGA, you want this guy pardoned. Okay, let him sleep on your couch. You got kids, right? Let him be your neighbor. Let him work with you. I'm sure you're fine taking an Uber from this guy, right? I'm sure this fine, upstanding gentleman, you can absolutely leave a key to your house to walk your dog, right, MAGA? Come on. Come on, MAGA. Level with me here. You know this is bad. And again, where are the Democrats? Devious Chris 3012, you read my fucking mind, brother. Be careful. Schumer might write a strongly worded letter. Corporate Dems are weak against MAGA. I've been saying it. I've been saying it every goddamn day. Where are the Democrats to talk about the soft on crime Republicans? We need a fucking good tag for this. Soft on crime MAGA. Pro crime MAGA. Empty jails Trump. I gotta workshop this. I think just soft on crime MAGA. Soft MAGA. Soft MAGA. So soft. So soft. It's like fur. Okay, fur. I had many fur. And I've had a lot of fur. Touched a lot of fur. Grabbed a lot of fur without consent. You know, MAGA, that this is bad. Abusing children is about power. Fascism is also about power. It fits. Very correct. I fucking fully agree with that. And here we are again. Individual. Well, let's just listen to it.
Let me go back to this slush fund because there's...
And I'm glad that Van Hollen doesn't shy away from the language, because it is a slush fund, and we should call it a slush fund. And I'm glad that he is putting it into the congressional record of calling it a slush fund, because that should be the talking point. Trump has a slush fund for terrorists. There's your fucking mailer. Please donate. I'm sick and tired of pedophiles and terrorists being pardoned by this Trump. Vote for me. Politics is the easiest fucking thing on the planet. I swear to God.
There's also an individual who, after being pardoned by the president, went on to molest 2 children. And that person actually...
Yeah, keep in mind, he went on to molest 2 children, not 1, but 2. So after his pardon, he molested 2 children. And there is absolutely no plausible fucking scenario that this guy hasn't also molested other children in the past. He's 44. You don't get to be 44 years old and say, you know, I've been to the Caribbean. I've been to the Empire State Building. I need to take a look at those Epstein files and see what Trump is doing that's so good. People that are 44 don't fucking do that. This guy clearly has a record. He's clearly done this in the past.
She tried to buy the silence of these children by saying that he
You
would
too,
pay
Equer.
them some of the funds that he was hoping to get from your slush fund. Can you commit to making the rules so that that person is not eligible for a payout under this fund?
Well, you're obviously lying in your question because there's...
Clip it. Clip it. He says you're lying in your question. Clip that. Post the video. Post the screenshot of the fucking story. With the mugshot with that guy's face. Clip that shit. There is your attack ad, Democrats. Come the fuck on. Palantir pardon program? That's good. That's good.
There's no way that this person committed
PPP.
to that. But the slush fund, as you call it, which is not, didn't exist.
I'm sure,
but I can commit.
Mr. Attorney General, don't ever do that again. I am reporting
what again?
what he said. He said on the expectation that he hoped to get some of the funds from a payout. He's been
From
hearing
the, you said from the slush fund, Senator, and that didn't exist when he said that.
This is the fund that the president and all of you have been telegraphing all along that you're going to use to help the president's friends.
Van Hollen needs to be the Senate leader. We need to chuck Chuck Schumer the fuck out the doors and get Van Hollen for fucking Senate leader. I can't believe that this guy is sitting on the backbench, clearly having such great rhetoric, great political instincts to go and help. God, it wasn't Mahmoud Khalil. Who was the guy that got extradited to El Salvador? I can't remember his fucking name, but you know the guy I'm talking about. And I can't believe he's just a fucking seat warmer for fucking AIPAC shill Cory Booker. This is insane. So again, this also shows the difference in right-wing framing, right? Where was it? So, San Diego Mosque, ooh, spooky. They had 9/11 ties. Oh, this pedophile rapist, you know, he actually ran a good store. He had a good brewery. It's not all bad. Is this the same guy? No, okay, this is not the January 6th guy. So, a white guy can do the worst thing ever, and the headline will still open with a compliment. It's like, Jesus Christ. It's so fucking true. It's so fucking true. It's like, opens up with a picture of a white guy. This man actually happened to save a dog from a bee sting one time by bravely plucking the stinger out himself with a pair of tweezers and sitting with the dog when it didn't have any kind of reaction. Oh, and by the way, he's arrested for raping a child. Every time that's what happens in fucking media. Fucking abolish corporate media. Blanche literally ignored Maxwell offering to give up members of the current cabinet who would trust him to protect anyone. Yeah, Devious, and I think it was Van Hollen actually that cornered Blanche about that. I don't have that clip right now because I'm on a different topic, but he cornered Blanche about that exact meeting. I think it was Van Hollen. Might have been someone else. It might have been Reed. I can't remember. So this is also what the reason that these Republicans can get away with everything is because these are the people they are running against. These are the opposition. California Attorney General in 2018, Javier Becerra's office pushed to artificially inflate a black man's IQ so the state could execute him. Which doesn't make sense to me because I thought California abolished the death penalty. Whatever. Becerra's CJ record, I don't know what that means, has received less scrutiny in this campaign than his past runs. Why? And that is 100% fucking correct. I'm one of the reporters that Becerra threatened with criminal prosecution. Becerra doubled down on his threats, which completely ignored the California Reporters' Shield Law, as nearly every major newspaper and press freedom group in the state condemned the action. At the time, Becerra threatened to charge journalists with crimes unless they destroyed a list of police officers convicted of crimes. Becerra took more than $3,000 in campaign funds from law enforcement unions in his run for Attorney General. The Political Action Committee for the California Correctional Peace Officers Association, a state prison guards union, gave $320,000 to a group backing Becerra and other candidates that cycle. News outlets raised questions about his ability to police the police while owing much of his campaign support to their unions. Again, polar inversion theory, right? What in the fuck are we doing here where Javier Becerra fights more with newspapers who are trying to get the records of police who are criminals who also have criminal records? That is in the public interest. And yet, they will say fuck all about this. they'll say absolutely fuck all, because Muslims are, they have carte blanche. You can be as racist against Muslims, but you can't say the same thing about Christians. You can't say the same thing about Jews. You can't say the same thing about white blonde Karens. But no wonder that we're in such a shit show, because we have people like Becerra and Merrick Garland and Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, who are completely inept fucking eunuchs and will do absolutely nothing to stop our enemies.
Frauded. And there are all. It is the easiest thing to find. Every single day, my staff will bring me new reports of the ways that you're being defrauded. And there are all these look, there's a simple principle that I have.
Defrauded. They're literally setting up a slush fund for MAGA pedophiles and terrorists on January 6th. And then they're also getting a fucking bribe for this ballroom that's going to cost $1 billion, which is going to get pocketed straight into Trump's checking account.
Which is, if you are committing fraud against the American people, you ought to go to prison.
And yet Trump keeps pardoning fraudsters and criminals like that. That's in drug dealers. This is insane. And these fucking trained SEALs back here clapping at that. I really... the level of brain rot and brainwashing, because if you were to get these creepy-looking white folks, of course they have the token black guy here, if you were to get these motherfuckers in a room and tell them Donald Trump pardoned XYZ, who's the crypto guy that then turned around like the next week and gave Trump a multi-million-dollar donation to his campaign, and then there was the drug guy that he pardoned. There was the former president of fucking Venezuela, was it? Or something like that. He pardoned all of those. And you want to talk about fraud. And here we are getting this shit. Would they believe it if we told them? Probably not. They'd call it fake news, right? That's easier. The fake news line has been the easiest out for any of these MAGA pedophiles. I'll literally call fake news to shit, and I can prove how it's bullshit. Was it president of Argentina? That might be right. Chuck the cuck, hawk to a Hakeem. Fuck, that's good. Hawk to a Hakeem. Good one. I like that. Van Hollen and Raskin at least recognize the fire to hold the toes to. Yes, they do.
If you are
Hawk to a Hakeem. Damn it, that's good, Chris.
Fighting against fraud, you ought to have your money taken away, because you should not be able to steal from all of you and give it to fraudsters.
Uh-oh, he just called for Trump to be taken away and jailed. He just called, guys, we got to lock up Trump now. We got to get his bank account info. J.D. Vance, sitting vice president, just pulled us. Julius et tu, Brute? He just pulled a Caesar on Trump and told Trump to get arrested. Wow. The level of dis-fucking-loyalty from Sasquatch's baby here. That's insane. You can start by walking down the hall, see why your boss keeps pardoning people convicted of money laundering, wire fraud, tax evasion, and securities fraud. This is from Pete Buttigieg. Pete Buttigieg has great rhetoric. He is a great debater. He is great on Fox Fake News. But the thing about this is that Pete Buttigieg helped this era of corporate corruption. Because when the airlines were fucking over customers when he was in charge, Empty Suit Pete did fuck all. He got a fucking tiny little chunk, which the airlines make back in fucking baggage claim fees within a week. And there has been just this, again, we cannot survive this with these kind of Democrats. And now I'm hearing Kamala wants to run again. Run what? Into the fucking wall? Jesus Christ. We are so borked with these Democrats in charge.
If you want to rebuild the American...
Yeah, not those fraudsters. No, those fraudsters are good. But like no, not these fraudsters. Just get those Minneapolis Somalis. Get the Somalis. Get those Somali guys. They're the bad ones. They took like, I don't know, a couple 100,000 or something. But don't get the guys that took multi-millions. No, don't do that. Don't do that. The multi-million guys are good. I'm telling you, if you ever want to commit a crime, start an LLC and steal millions of dollars, because then you'll fucking get away with it. Just the ones who don't give me a cut, basically.
For the next generation, vote against the crazy leadership in Washington, D.C.
J.D. Vance is an op. Come on. He's telling the people in the room to literally vote against Trump. Like, I mean, on the one hand, it works because his base are a fucking bunch of dipshits and morons. But, like, To the independents that they need to win, they're going to see this and are like, oh yeah, we should vote against those crazy fraudsters in D.C. Yeah, I'm voting against Republicans. Fuck this.
Vote for.
J.D. Vance is an op, dude. You cannot tell me that the sackless bearded lady here is not an op. I can't remember how this tied into the other stuff, but I guess it comes back to the kind of fraud overall. EPA proposed repealing limits on multiple types of forever chemicals in drinking water. If finalized, the Trump administration proposal would end drinking water limits for 4 toxic PFAS. Oh, this is 18 minutes? Fuck, I can't listen to this. But hey, this is your drinking water, Maga. This is DuPont? Oh, Jesus. Yeah, this is bad. Damn it, I wish I had time to watch this one. And again, Maga, be real. What? Okay, this is actually going to be a fun thought experience. Maga, tell me what is more important to you. Not drinking toxic chemicals that would give you a 5th nipple and cancer overnight, or keeping trans people in their biological bathrooms. Which is more important to you guys, really? Really? I mean, we know they're going to say trans people, but that's the level of stupidity that we're up against. And I'm so sick of the Democrats, the centrists, always trying to get that vote. Those people are gone. You're not going to get them. And even if you were to get them, the only single way that the centrists would ever get the vote of a MAGA is if they took on corruption, if they took on the corporation, the elites, the Epstein pedophiles, which the Republicans, or excuse me, the Democrats can do, by the way. And also talk about how much the system is fucking them. Look at this. These corporations are literally allowed to poison our water. But guess what, MAGA? I'll bet if you don't pay your taxes on time, you got to pay interest. Talk about that. Almost right. Start an LLC with freedom or liberty in the name. They then have a publicly white Christian guy as the public face. Then you can scan and pay the Trump pardon czar when you get caught. You know the great part is that you could just use an AI photo slop of a Christian guy. White Christian guy as your CEO. No one's gonna know. They're gonna know. No one's gonna know. They're never gonna know. Don't be suspicious. No, don't be suspicious. All right, this has been a heavy episode, so let's end on some more fun shit. Let's do this.
Can match my skill and my power. Nobody can match my skill and my power.
I think one of the things I really want to do, if I ever can find a way, I want to do one of these videos where it's Lloyd Norrick's Night Welcome, where it's a perfect scream cutoff. I really want to have a video like that. It's on my list of things to do.
I don't need it. Spider-Man doesn't really talk.
Yes, he does.
Wait. That was wait. Can I find? Hold on. Where's the? Where's the da-na-na-na-na? Let's see. Is this it?
Don't just take
Oh my
classes.
God.
Take charge.
It's a fucking ad. Okay, hold on. Oh my God, it's another ad. God, I hate YouTube. Wait. Wait, can I time this? Hang on. I think I can time this. Wait. Wait for it. Wait.
I can't really move my mouth that much. I don't need it. Spider-Man doesn't really talk.
Yes, he does.
There we go. Perfect. Fun like the Trump mobile security breach that is releasing everyone's details. Oh, yeah. Have fun with that, MAGA. Love to see what your guys' search history looks like. Okay, so this is Marcus the Worm, the OG, my favorite. I love these videos, man.
Hey, come on, go ahead, go ahead. What do you guys think about him? He's pretty cool, right? Introduce yourself.
I feel happiness as I began to experience organ failure.
Yo, little bro, you ready to go get fucked at H party?
I sure hope my penis still works.
I don't know, man. Something about Marcus just gets me the giggles every time. All right, Devious Chris, thank you so much for hanging in here with me, brother. Appreciate all your stuff. Please, if you haven't, make sure to like, subscribe. I mean, you know, the usual selfish promo bullshit that I gotta say. Please like, subscribe. That's all I got. I'll be on again tomorrow. Thanks.